we will be talking about automatic variables in PowerShell. The automatic variables are variables that are created and maintained by PowerShell, and you don't really have much control over those. They are used in different use cases. They don't all contain the same value at the same time. They're very specific as to what they're used for. We're going to go over a few of them. There's a lot to cover. I will not cover all of them. I have not used all of them myself, so there's definitely a few that are not necessary to know, especially if you are a beginner. So let's go and start Visual Studio Code, and we'll run through a few examples. So I'll just use test2 here. All right. So the first one is $? So this variable $? is used to indicate whether the last action completed successfully. So let's say we do get child item. Yes, that's my go-to my go-to commandlet, and we'll just store that into a res variable because we just want to see what the value of this $? is. So if we do get child item C and there's no problem, then we'll get a true, right? So that's exactly what we expect. It's true. It was successful. Now, if we do this, which is not a drive, this not a anything that's valid, if we run this, it's gonna be false. And see, you have the error here. So there's this parameter, and which is called error action, and we do silently continue. Okay, if we run this, we'll remove the error message and we'll just get false. So we'll go over error action in a bit when we do more error handling, but we can, so that the way you use the $? You can use it as a very rudimentary error handling tool, where you can say if $? Which means if the last action is successful, then write host success, or do something that is successful, else write host failure. Okay, and then we can see this, and now if we, so we got failure. If we run it again, we should get success. There you go. So that's a very rudimentary way of handling errors. There are better ways, but for now we'll just stick with that one. The next one is two variables because there's two ways of using it. So let's go back to our get child item, and we're gonna say C. All right, and we're gonna pipe this to a for each object. So this is one of the exceptions that this is not a verb. This is two words for a commandlet. So here, now we're processing each of the items that are returned here one at a time. Now, how do you address this item? Well, the way you do this is you do $_ or $PS item. Either way is fine. They're the same value. So let's say we're going to do write host, and we're going to do full name, and we're going to do the same thing with full name on this one, just so we can see it's the same thing. Okay, so what we expect is we get everything in the C drive, and the name, the full path is repeated twice for each of them. So there we go, and that's exactly what is happening. So, and if we want, we can even put I, and we'll just increase it. So we can have a number. It's not important, but there we go. We'll do this. So we'll copy paste this. PS item, and we can run this, and you'll see. There you go, 7766. There we go. All right. The next one is, and we'll go back to our error. Get child item C. Okay, and the next one is the error variable. Okay, so this variable is an automatic variable which stores the errors that have been encountered, and the first one, the first item, error 0, is the most recent error. So if we do this, see, we get the same thing. And so let's just do error action silently continue, and we can see now we only have one error. Yep, come on, run. Are you running? Oh, sorry, I had to scroll down. Okay, but the good thing is, so let's pipe this to get member. And this is not just this message. This is a lot more. There's a lot more data in here. So for example, we can say we want to see what exception was thrown. Actually, I will comment this out. So now we can see we have a little bit more details about the exception. So we have the result, we have the stack trace, we have the item name that wasn't found, so we have the message. So we have a lot more information if we want to handle the error accordingly. So yeah, that's the error. That are, well, two variables that are true and false. So those are the Boolean true and false. They're just that. So you can use it, for example, if you say, I don't know, get child. Let me think. So, oh, you could do this. If true, then we will do right host got true and right host got false. Alright, so if we run this, actually we don't need those. You can see if we do true, this condition will be true, and we'll be just getting true, right? Got true, that's obvious. And now if we do false, we do this. So these are useful if you're evaluating Boolean expressions, so true or false expressions. The next one we're going to see is the last exit code variable. Whoops, wrong key. So last exit code. So if you run an executable, so cmd.exe/c exit 20. So this will exit with an exit code of 20. That will be the exit code for cmd.exe. So if we do this and we run this, what we expect to see here is a 20, right? 20. And we can change that to 21, 221, I guess. And if you want to make sure that this is truly the one that's here, we can do write host last exit code, and there you go. So now we'll get the last exit code. So that's the same thing, more or less, as the $? But for executable. You do have to handle the exit codes yourself. The next one is my invocation. Okay, sorry. My invocation. So this gives you data about the script or the function or the script block that is being run, and you have a few values, a few properties. Sorry. So here, for example, invocation name, we're running the script, and we have the script location, which is very practical. We also have just the name and all that. If you do want to get the script the script path, you can use script root. So that should be the folder where the script is running from, where the script is located. If you want to get the full thing, you can do ps script. Oops. Oh, sorry. Command path. So this should give you the full path of where the script is located. So that's very practical. And this is only in PowerShell 5.1 and above. So the next one we're going to look at, and we're going to look at it here, is the profile variable. And we will cover profiles at a later point in this course. So profile is a file that is loaded on your, every time you start PowerShell. And so you can do code, because you have PowerShell code, profile, and there you go. You can open your profile, and you can also see all the, sorry, we'll do it here. But even though it does print only one path, it actually has a lot more. So there are a few paths that the profile contains. So all user, all host, all users current host, all users, all hosts, and current user, current host. So we'll go in detail about what those means and what they are. But basically, depending on whether you run PowerShell 5.1 or PowerShell 7 or some custom PowerShell interface, or with whether it's you or somebody else, each of those have a profile that they can run. So that's what a profile is, and we'll go more in detail in a different video. The next one is PS bound parameters, and we'll look into bound parameters at some point later on, but let's say we have a function here, right? Let me copy this function here. Okay, so we have a function, test function, and if we call it, we get the test parameters here. So let me run this. So there you go. So you can see, so for the first one, the bound parameters, there's only one parameter, that is test1, and you can see this is the parameter, and this is its value. And the same thing, test2, and all that. So these are the parameters. See here, test4 is 10. So these are a way to find which parameters are being called. It also works in the script when we use parameters, and we'll see those later on in this course. The next one that you want to know is PS version table. So this tells you information about the version of PowerShell you are currently running. So here, for example, we're running PowerShell v1, but if we go here, we'll see PS version table. We are running PowerShell 5.1. So if you are going on a computer and you want to know if it's up to date on PowerShell, you can use this version, command, which works since PowerShell 1, I think. Definitely PowerShell 2. And you can know which version of PowerShell is running. So that's that. The next one I want to show you is, oops, clicked the wrong place. Next one I want to show you is PWD. So if you are a Unix person, you are familiar with PWD command, which is print working directory. You also have it stored in a variable. You can, this PWD alias is the alias for get location. So you get the value for all these in all these ways by using PWD. So if you change location, or if you want to work in the current location, you can use PWD to know where you are in your script. And there are more variables, like I mentioned. Here you can see there's a lot that we haven't looked at, and we'll see a few of them maybe at some point later down the course. I'm thinking about at least args we will see. So take a look at those, try to learn them. There's at least the ones that I showed you are important. They come on a regular basis. So this one, $_ and PS item are false true. Those are very important. Okay, so this is it for variables, and I'll see you in the next video.